All right, what up, weebs and weeblets? I'm Zach.
And I'm Shawn.
And welcome to Two Low-Key Weebs. So, today, we are going to be talking about the Dark Trio for real fans.
You know, the manga.
The manga readers. So, specifically, we're going to be telling you which is the best, which is the worst, and we're going to be doing it in the best to worst order, and we're going to tell you why JJK is the worst of them.
Absolutely.
And by no means, So I'm not a true fan. I'm not a real fan because I still haven't read JJK. I've read the other two, though. So Sean's going to really fill us in on that end.
Worst does not mean bad.
Worst does not mean bad. That's a good way to put it. Solid, what? 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10? The whole work.
Whole work, I'd say 7.
7?
Work,
Even with how mad you are. Okay, so
even with
we'll get into JJK.
I have a lot of thoughts.
First things first, let's talk about Chainsaw Man Part 1. I don't need to read JJK to know Chainsaw Man Part 1 is the best.
Absolutely.
I've got such a huge heart-on for this series. It's just so fucking good, dude. So I got to Chainsaw Man late to the game. You know, like Part 2 was already out. It was already released. So I was able to just crush the whole series out, and I fucking loved it. I started with the anime. After the anime ended, I went deeper. And when my wife says go deeper and I'm all out of poetry. Okay.
like Chad Ochocinco said, I'm out of pee-pee. I'm sorry, did I?
I was ready for that. But no, Chainsaw Man goes, all I knew about it is that it goes hard and that it's fucking wild. Because I saw the one panel of the Darkness Devil walking through a corridor of just disembodied astronauts.
Yeah, astronauts just split in half and just like set up like kind of like if you're walking down a hall.
You know, I'll just show a picture of you really need to see it. So like if you haven't read it, you got to pick it up. So Chainsaw Man Part 1 is honestly one of the best manga I've ever read. I stand by that. There's so much more nuance to it than I feel like some people give it credit. And so like when I say blanket statements like that, a lot of that is me just referencing Reddit.
Yeah.
So like forgive me because like I've recently been getting away from Reddit brain and like I'm realizing just how small that sample size is.
And how terrible an idea the internet was sometimes.
Oh, absolutely, God. But that being said, like the show's got a lot of nuance. It's got a horrifying portrayal of grooming and abuse and the effects it has on him, especially like once we get into Part 2, just like seeing these lasting effects on Denji is fucking brutal.
Right, like you don't even get the full effect in Part 1.
You don't, but the Part 1 is still a full story and it's a perfect story. I feel like
he didn't have to make Part 2. You could have just ended Part 1 and just called that the manga.
And you know, it's one of those stories that when I got into it, I was like, yeah, dude, it's a dude trying to touch some boob. Fuck yeah, like let's watch this. It's a realistic representation of like what a teenager would do if he had nothing and then all of a sudden he's got a government job and I like that you're like superpowers. I'm like, dude, this bro's got he's got
a government job. He's got a pension.
He's got a pension. Like fuck.
I don't know if Japanese government workers get pensions. I'm assuming.
I'm pocketing that one. It's a pension. We're sticking to it. But like really, it's such a good representation of him. And then I'm just expecting this like classic shonen beat 'em up that just gets fucking crazy.
Some kind of stupid and like then surface level.
It's just gut punch after gut punch. Like the series hits so fucking hard. I couldn't stop reading it, which is usually the case for me. But
yes, absolutely.
It's just one thing after another. It just feels more and more hopeless. And even by the end, it's still you're left with holes.
And you're left with holes in the realization that Fujimoto needs therapy.
He does, but after reading more of his works too, it's just like
he's not getting it.
My guy needs to learn to cope. But please don't, because then we're losing out on this writing. I can't ever. I feel like I say this in every episode, but read Chainsaw Man, please. Just do it for me. And if
he's on the verge of getting it tattooed on him, just so he can point to it.
I could do that actually. No, that was me going like, what Chainsaw Man tattoo would I get? Honestly, if anything, I might just, if I were to do anything, I'd get like fucking just one of Makima's eyes right here. No, that'd be terrible. I love Makima's eyes though. Like how they're drawn are freaking sweet. I'm not a Makima simp. I get it, guys. I get it, but I'm not.
I get the allure of
I get the allure. Like the mommy energy's there. Every character in Chainsaw Man is lovable. Every character in all of the Dark Trio is lovable. Honestly, like I feel like, you know, that they got there because they do a good job. So, in closing, read Chainsaw Man.
Absolutely. At least the first part.
I think we're going to do like a full coverage of the first part, probably next. We're going to put that on the short list. We're lying to you. I'm never going to do it because I'm a horrible, rotten liar. But that's my goal. I genuinely intend to. So moving on, the next best out of them is Hell's Paradise. I thought Hell's Paradise was a fucking banger, dude. I mean, like a strong... A strong 7 out of 10, maybe an 8. Like it was really enjoyable.
It might be my favorite 8 out of 10 manga.
Yeah, I'll go with that. My favorite thing about it is I feel like there's not enough wife guys in anime.
Oh, absolutely not.
Like he just wants to see his wife, and then he's got like this bougie ass fucking bougie. No, that's not the word. This fucking booty ass. Tell you what. What's the word for a female ninja? Kunoichi, yeah, like trying to clap cheeks with him, and he's just like, nah, dude, I got a wife.
No, straight up arm bars her.
Yeah, right? She's like, give me that dick, arm bar. But give me that dick, the arm bar.
He's trying to seduce him into cooperating. He's like, no, I love my wife. Fuck off.
But I'll still work with you. So... This series follows Gabimaru, the Hollow, who he...
is a ninja assassin.
Cold-blooded. They're going to kill him. They're going to assassinate him. And they can't because he's too fucking tough.
Yeah, like he will not let the blade go through his neck.
And then we get our girl, Sugi shows up.
Sugi.
Sugi shows up and she's going to do it. But she's like, hey, bro, you're like not letting people kill you. I'm going to do it. But like, why not? And he's like, because I love my wife. She's like, all right, well, the shogunate is going to pardon you if you go and get this elixir of life, and then you can spend time with your wife.
Super simple, right?
Wrong. Super simple.
Incorrect.
And then so they go to this island where it is, and it's just deadly?
Mildly putting it.
So, like, literally, even the bugs turn you into flower people.
Yeah.
So this series... What really invested me at first, and I was kind of disappointed, is that it didn't have, like, a power system.
Yeah.
It does get a power system. So if that's something you like, they end up going, it is Tao is what they have, is their power system. I've been kind of just like itching for something that doesn't have that. That's something that's just like, you don't know. Like,
just tough dudes being tough.
Tough dudes being tough, but like not Tabaki standards.
Yeah. Like realistic tough.
Realistic tough.
Well, I mean, realistic for manga tough.
Like, I'm thinking like FMA. Like, FMA, like, there's never a fight that you know who's going to win. You know? It's just like, there's no, oh, your power's this much. Oh, you have this much aura. Like...
Right.
And I'm kind of itching for something like that. The fact that
also FMA, wife dude Maze Hughes.
Wife dude Maze Hughes. There's a trend here. Like, I like wife dudes. I'm a wife guy. I like wife guys. Give us more representation in media. Let me be your DEI hire, the wife guy. The Tao thing doesn't, I feel like, take away from it.
No.
It's... When it showed up, I was like, oh, I thought this was something else, but what I got was still really good. Tao was a fun take on it. Like, it really has a lot to do with yin and yang. Men and women have different kinds of Tao, and by, like, Snoo helps meld and grow that Tao. And so the main villains, to fluctuate their Tao, switch between male and female forms. To kind of like
they switch their chi or ki, however you want to pronounce it. And like, all of a sudden, transition.
Yeah, and so it's just like girl, guy, especially like when they're wounded. They get old and wrinkled and they start switching between the two because it's like they're churning their Tao. It was a really fun power system. Like,
it's something I didn't expect when I first started reading it, which is what I like the most. If I don't see it coming, I'm pleasantly surprised.
Really nothing about the series that I felt was overly predictable. No. I feel like there were moments that were, but like...
Well, like your story beats you're kind of expecting to happen.
Well, exactly. But like as a whole, it was a really fun, unique idea. It had wife guy.
Buddhist fishmen.
It literally had sex no jutsu.
Yeah.
No, like there's literally a scene. This just cracked me up because it's called Bochujutsu. Is like the melding of chis via men and women. And like this one girl just shows up and she's just like, she essentially just says, yo, give me that dick, boy. And he's like, no. And then they fight. And it just tickled me pink.
If I had a nickel for every time that happened to me, I'd have zero nickels.
You'd be as broke as you are now.
I'd have 0 nickels.
Hell's Paradise, it was just a lot of fun. Like,
and it was super tight too. Like
it was 127 chapters.
Yeah,
and I like that. I think that 127 is like a nice span of time to tell a complete story. You get to know the characters. I really love that. Like Sugi really It's not often that like a character catches me off guard like that, where it's just like Sugi just feels like she's a character that's kind of going to be almost like a stand-in female character. And that I honestly, just from design standpoint, I really thought, what's the Konuichi's name?
Oh, Yuzuriya.
Yeah. I really thought that like she was going to be the show stealer, but no.
Yeah, or she was going to like supplant Sagiri. Like Sagiri was going to die at some point.
Yeah, but Sagiri, like, she fucking won me over, dude. She is the baddest bitch in the series. She is best girl. Like, I adore Sugi.
Right, and you could argue she was the main character of the back half of the manga.
She really is, too. Yeah. And it's honestly, I think if I'm scaling here, Sugi bodies Gabimaru.
Like, yeah, I like Sagiri way more than...
I do, too. Like,
I like her journey more.
I do too, and like I think for the story, I can't say this because I don't want to spoil it. We're gonna do a whole episode on this too. We're gonna do a whole episode on this. So like Sugi, awesome character. The plot is fun. It doesn't stay too long, and you should just read it for the. I mean, it's not as intuitive as like Nen, but the Tao power system is a fun, fresh take.
Yeah.
Now JJK. How the Mighty Have Fallen. So
my God.
I feel like JJK was all anyone could talk about for a minute.
For years.
Because it's a fucking
At least
banger.
in the shonen world.
The character, like, as far as stylization goes, so to compare it to the other two, if we're going to call it the weakest, character design, I think it is the most fun and whimsical. Like, no, whimsical is not the word, but fantasy inspired.
Panda's whimsical. Nothing else.
Panda is whimsical.
Nothing else is whimsical.
There's just a panda. He's just like, he's a panda, but he's a JJK sorcerer. But like Chainsaw Man has the charm of them just wearing suit and tie. Like, I fucking love that about them. And the character design is there, but like costume design, I feel like JJK is going to take the cake here.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Sean, just hit us like it falls apart is the problem.
Yeah.
It stays, honestly, and I think
stays too long.
It stays too long.
That was the biggest part. It gets drawn out towards the end. I'm not going to obviously talk about the story for the first two seasons. They're out. You can go watch them. Like, for the most part. You're obviously going to miss some bits because the manga's going to cover a few more things. But
when you're talking about the complete story is when it's a problem. Because like the first two seasons are bangers. Like, I had fun. I
had fun for probably I really enjoyed it through 3/4 of the manga. And then I think what happens is Gege goes on some sort of hiatus. I don't know what happened there. Could have been medical. Could have just been him fucking off for no apparent reason.
JJK. Gege found drugs.
Right. It's entirely possible. And then it comes back, and then just that last arc, I think it feels like it starts out as a tournament arc. Because it's sorcerers fighting other sorcerers.
Which sounds like a boon.
Sounds like a banger. It sounds like a great setup for just one arc by itself, and then you move into the final arc. That's how I thought it was going to go.
So, from what I understand about it, almost sounds like it was kind of like it was written by 3 kids talking about who's strongest at the schoolyard. And then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then who's this character? Who's this OC out of nowhere?
And then when they fucking introduce new characters, which I'm not against, some of them are really, really fantastic, but then you get 2 manga chapters of just explaining their powers, and by the end of the fucking chapter, I don't know what's going on.
That's fair. Well, I feel like that was something that really stuck with MHA. Yeah. Did it feel kind of like that, where the American hero shows up, she's there for 20 minutes, and then dude, this chick's a bad bitch, and then nothing.
It feels like that, but worse, because then every chapter there's someone new and someone new that they've never talked about before, and then they last a chapter, maybe 2, and then they're out.
Okay, and is every one of them presented as a Deus Ex Machina too? Is it they're about to die, and then who's this new guy? Or
no, they get bodied and then they're gone. There's no Deus Ex Machina about it.
So and spoiler free. Outside of that drag, and again, that is why I'm praising Hell's Paradise so much. They knew when to end. Yeah. And that's why I'm praising Chainsaw Man. Because, Chainsaw Man as well. Because, the fact that he separated it into a part 1 and a part 2. And with part 2, you have a new character, a new main character, seemingly. I feel like that was well handled, that we have this finite story. Whereas with JJK, it just drags on and on. Were you happy with the actual ending, the actual last 5 chapters? Or did you think that Gege just dropped the ball all around?
It was super lackluster for me.
Was it?
It wasn't
I heard a lot of people were kind of unhappy with it. They brought people back for them to do almost nothing.
Yeah. It wasn't the worst ending. It's not like when Seinfeld ended. That's a trash series finale. Don't at me.
Oh, was it? Don't at me. Please add us.
It's not like prolifically bad,
but it's just
it didn't live up to what I think anyone wanted.
Well, and I mean, I think when you've got something that is, whether or not they wanted it, that is masquerading as a big three or a dark trio, like you can't just fluff out.
Yeah.
And
I like some parts of it. There are a lot of good ideas and a lot of good.
See, that gets me more than anything. A mid-series is a mid-series, and that's one thing. But when you take something that's just like all of this is why I will forever hate Seven Deadly Sins, is because you have so many great concepts, great ideas, and then you just take a piss with the writing. And it's like, it sucks when that happens so much. I feel like wasn't there a lot of unfinished shit too? Like just shit they threw out there that just wasn't ever tied up.
Yeah, never tied up, never brought up again. My one reservation about my opinions on the whole of JJK is that this back part of the manga that I'm complaining about, I did read week to week.
And you really need to. I need to. So we'll do it.
If I went back and read the whole thing in a stretch, I might feel a little bit differently, but I don't think so.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's fair, and I'm going to experience that. I should have experienced that, but I got distracted by fluff manga because it's like my jam.
And go through dark times and fluff manga is needed.
Well, and I guess I picked up Code Geass too.
Oh, yeah.
And I picked up Inspector. And I picked up, a
whole bunch of things you've
I've
sent
been
me.
doing a lot of other stuff.
Yes.
It's just laziness. I apologize, everyone. But we'll also do an episode. We're going to do an episode, like a deep dive on each of the big three. We just kind of want to touch base to give you guys an idea of what we think about them and give you a chance to read them. And come and join us when we do a deep dive on all of them. We'll probably do Chainsaw Man first, but we might do Hell's Paradise just because I really like talking about Sugi.
And it's like recency bias. Like that's the most recent one, I think, for both of us.
It is. Yeah. It is. Well, I watched the Chainsaw Man anime recently. But we're going to get into it. Join us, comment, subscribe, do the things, please.
Absolutely.
And until next time, let's keep it low-key, weebs.
Bye.
Peace.